Yeah, so we talked about the Eagles and the Raiders and whatnot. But I want to get into some of the other games. We were briefly talking about the other Monday night game that was just a flat out blowout. And Bills are going to be here. Bills Mafia is going to be here for a long time to stay.
Sure are.
A lot of tables are going to be broken. A lot of cars are going to be flipped this season. Because I mean, what the hell else is there to do up in Buffalo, right?
Not much. Not
No.
much.
But yeah, you look around the NFL and there was I'm still steaming about the game with my team, obviously, but you look at some of these other teams, Chargers and Chiefs. That was a really really exciting game. Chargers, they're going to be a problem. I know the Chiefs won that game, but I think the Chargers are next in line behind the Bills. That's just me.
Fully agree.
And it doesn't make me feel good saying that as a Raiders fan because we're going to have to see them again, right? The AFC West is just loaded.
The AFC West is incredible. So it's usually such a awesome division to watch, especially when San Diego's doing good because usually they're the basement team, at least historically. But when they're in the race, man, it's fun to watch. I'm a Denver fan. Well, I was a Denver fan. I can't stand Russell Wilson, so I mean, Denver would be my second squad though. Since I was a kid, my aunt moved out there, and I met John Elway and shit. I was like real little, so since then I was like. I watched that man get his ass whooped in Super Bowls twice. Like, damn, just the Niners, the Redskins just whooped his ass. But like, like I can't. I mean, dude, Russell Wilson, that poor guy, man.
Give it a couple games. Give it a couple games. I think they're going to start picking it up. It's a new offense, new pieces. Quarterback trying to build chemistry with these guys coming off of finger surgery.
See, it's tough. It's tough for Russell Wilson too because he has such a tabloid existence. You know what I mean? Like, there's so much chatter around his personal life that I feel like it clouds who he is as a player. Whether it's like I hate that. I hate when it's like, oh, we're worried about what his wife is doing. Like, I could care less about that shit. Listen, Sierra, shout out Sierra, she's fantastic. But like, I don't give a shit. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
just don't. And I feel like it makes it tough for people to believe in Russell Wilson because we pay attention to those tabloid things more. We track the negativity, you know what I mean? And we almost forget. If you give that stuff a minute of thought, you forget what he is on the field. And then when you see him on the field again, like, oh, this bum, blah, 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 whatever his personal life. I hate when it gets clouded like that. And Russell Wilson, he handles it well, dude. He does. He just, because I know he's still smiling. I know he's like, damn, I hate this, man.
He'll be okay.
He absolutely will. I have nothing but faith in him. The Broncos are a solid franchise, dude. They get it together. You know what I mean? Even when they struggle, they find a way to make things happen. John Elway's, they're very particular,
Yeah. Now I got a question for both of you guys. Two of the upsets that really shocked me. The first one. And I have a Jets fan that I know that lives he's out in the middle of the country now. He's probably in that flyover state, high-fiving the one other Jets fan in Arkansas. And they came back and beat the Browns. Like, that one shocked me. And then the other one that shocked me was, which one was it? It was the Dolphins came back on the Ravens. After Lamar Jackson had like 5 or 6 touchdowns, they came back and beat them 42.
I know, it's crazy. So is Miami for real?
They're getting close.
Like, because it seems that way, It's funny because last week they beat New England. I was like, oh my God, Miami beat New England. I'm forgetting that it's not the same New England.
No. That defense last year, very aggressive. They got Xavier Howard as a shutdown corner. They have Jalen Waddle, and now they have Tyreek to go along with it for Tua to throw to. They're going to be a tough out for most teams that play them.
I see. I'm still stuck on that. Like, it was 2 or 3 seasons ago where the Eagles, Miami whooped our asses, and we were like, they didn't give up a touch. Miami didn't score a touchdown for like 6-7 games. We gave up 5. Like, it was bad. Like, and I remember just watching that game being embarrassed. And like, that's still the Dolphins to me. You know what I mean? Like, that's where I kind of left them there. Because like I don't see them much. Even when they're playing well, they don't talk about them enough.
No.
When it's like the East rivalries, like when they play the Patriots or the Jets or something. But like it's the East, the AFC East is a whole different animal than it used to be. Like the Patriots are not the Patriots that we remember, which is awesome to see, by the way. I love it. I love it. Speaking of, question for you guys. So do you agree with me on that Tom Brady as a Patriot just can't stand him, just hated the man, just wanted to see him, just did not want to see him succeed. Tom Brady as a Buccaneer, though, like I hope he gets another ring, dude. I really do. I feel like something about him, it's like, seems like he earns it more in Tampa Bay. Like it seems like it's like he had such a unit around him with Belichick and the whole team. I mean, the whole Patriots team was unreal. So it's like Tom Brady just had to show up and be half of Tom Brady and he was okay. But like in Tampa Bay, he shows up and dude, the man, I feel like he puts, I don't know what's different from here to, how he plays when he was in New England, but it just seems like he is much more of a hard-nosed, like stretch the ball kind of guy in Tampa Bay. And I like seeing him succeed there. I do. I don't, again, Tom Brady in a Patriots jersey, he'd go to hell, but Tampa Bay Tom Brady is the man, dude. He's the man. I want to see him win another Super Bowl just for the sake of like, what's that? 8? That'll make 8, right? If he gets another one, he's got 7, or is he at 6?
I think it'd be 8.
Yeah, like I mean, the fucking Steelers, the Pittsburgh Steelers franchise, and Tom Brady are the only motherfuckers that won more than 6 Super Bowls. That's incredible, dude. That's incredible. I kind of want to see him do it again. Like, I don't know if you guys feel the same way I do, but I love Tom Brady in Tampa Bay. TB Tom, fantastic.
Right.
No, disagree?
Yeah, I hate to say it, but every time I see him throw a tablet, I just cringe.
I mean, don't get me wrong. There's still a cringe factor in it because it's Tom Brady, and like we hate the man over here in Philadelphia. But it feels a little different. It doesn't hurt as bad. It doesn't, like, I don't mind seeing him win in Tampa Bay. It's like, okay.
Yeah, I see what you mean. He has a passion for the game, so it's like you can't help but respect that. So I definitely get what you're saying.
Certainly has a passion. He's really like he's fighting with his wife because he keeps coming back. Like dude, I love it. I love it.
How do you do that though? Like you're having this altercation with your wife and you're playing in the game. Like I can't imagine what he's going through mentally.
I feel like he only focuses on the game. I think that's his problem with Giselle is he's like, I don't even pay attention to that bitch. You know what I mean? I'll catch you in February. You know what I mean? We'll discuss then after February, like 6th, 7th. You know what I mean? We'll talk all for like 3-4 months, and then it'll be back, back in the saddle again.
Yeah.
Because dude, it's like, I mean, his consistency as he gets older. It's like I'm waiting for Tom Brady to have a mediocre year. It just don't happen, dude. I mean, he's 44 years old. It's crazy, dude.
It's insane, man.
He looks better. He looks just like the young guys. It's nuts.
You hear about the story about how he almost landed with the Raiders?
I did.
Yeah.
And you know what? People could say what they want to about John Gruden and whatnot, everything that happened. It was not going to gel well. The way he talks to Derek Carr and back in the day, Rich Gannon and Brad Johnson for the Bucks, you can't have that same conversation with Tom Brady because Jay Brewdog has no chill button. There is no like gray area. It's like either 0 or 100. You know what I mean? And I can just see them being like water and oil, just clashing.
Oh yeah,
both like brilliant minds. Like John Gruden's one of the most brilliant offensive minds that we've seen in football. But like, I can already see like Chucky against TB12, and then it's just being like nuclear warfare.
Yeah,
and that was the reason why the Raiders turned him down, and he got mad about it. And so that year when he went to the Bucks, he had a game against the Raiders and threw 5 touchdowns against us. And I did not know that was the backstory. That he was pissed when he came to that game, and he made it a point to really chuck the ball around.
One thing you don't do is piss Tom Brady off. Like, I mean, you really don't, because he will make you pay for it. He will,
unless you're Malcolm Jenkins. Then we're cool.
But yeah, then you're good. Then you're good. Yeah. Right. That's cool. But Tom Brady's got that Kobe effect where it's just like winning is the only option. And you know what I mean? That mentality is impressive, man. You don't see that often. Like even in Peyton, like Peyton he had that winning ability. He had many things, star power is through the roof, but like he didn't have that Kobe Tom Brady, like, you know, like I feel like Peyton was more of a finesse winner, where it was like he cruised and won games, where it was like, you know, Kobe and Tom Brady, they'll get in there, they'll get a little dirty to win the game. They'll fight, you know, not that Peyton wouldn't. I feel like Peyton was just a smarter kind of, like, he just, you know, managed to keep you at bay the whole game, so he didn't have to play like that. You know what I mean? Like, but like that mentality, man, that like, you know, watching Tom Brady walk on the field when it's like a 2-minute drive and he's down by a couple and he knows it's all on him. Like the confidence he has, and the overall, like, just, he knows he's going to win. You know what I mean? It's that Mamba mentality.
I'm going to give a controversial take here. I take Peyton Manning over Tom Brady.
Oh, absolutely. Me too.
And I disagree with you here. I would say that Peyton Manning they're comparable, but I'd say he's has slightly more of a killer mindset than Tom Brady does.
See, I feel like it was just approached differently. Like with Peyton, like I said, it seemed like he kept, you know, foot on the gas from the beginning. So it's almost like he kept you at arm's length, where he kind of didn't really have to fight most of the time. It's, you know, you didn't see. I mean, I guess he did. Yeah. I mean, it's hard to say.
He wanted to get a lead and then keep his foot on your neck.
Right.
And then ironically, dude, like, he came back and set the NFL record for touchdowns coming off of spinal fusion surgery.
Right, dude.
Fucking feel his fingers.
And insane.
And when you looked at those Bronco teams, he, like, you know how, like, people don't think of Magic Johnson as an intense guy. They think of, like, the smile and, like, the, you know, like but like when if Byron Scott didn't have his assignment right on defense, you just see that smile just go to serious, like,
oh yeah,
like beyond intense, like to a point of obsession, right? And I think that's something that you see out of the guys like a Tom Brady, a Peyton Manning. They might show it in different ways, but like they are ruthless when it comes to, if you don't know your assignment, get the fuck off my field.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like those type of guys.
One thing I felt differently about between Peyton and Tom, as far as their winning mentality, was like Peyton seemed to prepare. Like Peyton, like, and not that Tom doesn't, but he seemed like he had a plan. Like he was always a step ahead. Whereas Tom Brady, not that he wasn't always a step ahead, but when he would fall back or he had to fight, I feel like, just to me, it seems like I've seen more incidents where Tom Brady had to step up like that than Peyton, because Peyton kind of would cruise. Like Peyton had this, you know, he was like a genius. Like he would get on that huddle, man. Like, you know, it's like one of them guys is like the offensive coordinator is like, hey, Peyton, you want to call this play? He's like, yeah, suck a dick, dude. I'm going to go with this, you know, and I already know what the next 5 plays are. And so do my guys. I'm just going to yell out these little quick calls. Like, I feel like he was a preparer, and was like I said, keeps you at arm's length, where Tom Brady will knuckle up with you. Tom Brady will swing, you know, he'll have a showdown where he touchdown for touchdown and, you know, just fights for it.
It's the exact opposite. He had to put up points because that Colts defense they couldn't stop a water leak.
I know that Colts defense was terrible.
Yeah, it was constant games of him winning 38-28, 38-31, 45.
Did they win a Super Bowl in Indy?
They won one
against Chicago, right?
Against Chicago, and then he lost one against the Saints.
Right.
But if you swap out Tom Brady for Peyton Manning has 8 rings with that Patriots defense. Like,
easily.
Brady early on was a game manager, and even after Spygate, I mean, you look at the Super Bowls against the Giants. He didn't put up a lot of points with Randy Moss on that offense.
Right.
He put up a lot of points against the Seahawks, and then, you know, got a chance to win a ring because Pete Carroll went brain dead on the last play of the game, right?
Just throw the ball.
And then the one that he got against the Falcons, come on, that's like one of the biggest collapses in sports history. They just run the ball instead of, like, you know what I mean? So it's just like, he's a great quarterback, don't get me wrong, but like me personally, Peyton Manning and Joe Montana, if I had a gun to my head on who I want to win me the game, I'm going to go Peyton Manning or probably over that Joe Montana.
Joe was the man, dude.
That's before my time, but I've never seen somebody quite that cool under pressure. Like the dude, you heard the story of Joe Montana. I think it was the first Super Bowl against the Bengals, and one of the linemen is talking about, we're in the huddle with Joe, and they're all like, damn, how we going to go 90 yards? And he's like, hey, you see that guy sitting down there in the stands? Like, he's just completely like, he's just chill back. It's like, yeah, I guess, you know, cool. Then just falls to play, just like, the expression on his face doesn't even change as the balls come out of his hands. He's just like, yeah, we're gonna go down the field, nice and easy.
I was pretty young in the Montana era. I got to consciously see it though, and like, I mean, the like you said, the calmness, he just was cool, like as a cucumber at all times. And like, dude, that play to John, was it John Taylor that caught that last touchdown against Cincinnati at Super Bowl?
Yep.
It was just unbelievable. Cause like, if I had to tell you if I had to guess who was going to catch that ball, it's going to be Jerry Rice all day. Like, I'm not even thinking John Taylor. John Taylor's the hero. It lives in infamy. You know what I mean? The Icky Shuffle was going on that year. We ain't talking about no Icky Shuffle, dog. You didn't even get to do it in the Super Bowl. But like that's one of the first Super Bowls I remember. I think I was probably like 8. What year was that? 89?
89.
So I was 10.
There was one in 81 or 83. That was the first one where they beat the Bengals. And then the second one was in 89.
Yeah, the 89 one, that's the one I remember, because 83, I was like 4. I was 4 or 5 or whatever. Yeah. But like, dude, that team, like I got to see that was the first dynasty I got to watch, as a like, and typically I hate the dynasties. I really do. Like, usually I hated the Bulls in the 90s. I hated, the Patriots, because it's not my team. Like, I mean, it's not Philly. So like, fuck them. You know what I mean? Like, the Lakers, the Lake Show, fuck them too. You know what I mean? Like, I love Kobe to death now, but at the time I was like, like I typically don't ride with because I'm from Philly. We're not we're hardly ever the team like that. Like, we hardly ever are the squad that's like, oh, we're going in, we're winning 3 championships in a row. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, we win a championship and then we just dismantle the whole team. You know what I mean? We run the coach right out of town. That's how we do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what we do in Philly.
Yeah.
That's how we do, goddammit. We win and then we ruin it immediately.
Yeah, man. So yeah, it's just very fascinating just seeing guys like Tom Brady still doing it this age, and then seeing the next crop of quarterbacks. I think Joe Burrow's in a similar ilk. Like, he just has it. He doesn't have a line yet, but he has it. You know what I mean?
Like I said, it's a different game. It's a different mentality, man. These young quarterbacks, they play the game differently. It's like they've learned so much from the previous, like string of quarterbacks, but they've also brought this new thing to it that just is exciting. It's exciting. There's a lot of mobility in the backfield these days, which, frankly, was missing for a while. We had like 1 or 2 here and there. But like, we got a bunch. There's a that's the new thing with quarterbacks, is a mobile quarterback is the move now. I mean, I remember when Randall was the only mobile quarterback in the league. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that was like a new thing. It's neat to see teams like that. And it changes the whole dynamic of the game. Now defenses have to be prepared for a quarterback that's going to run. How you prepare for Jalen Hurts, dude? He's going to run, he can run at any time. He's fast as hell, runs like a running back. You can't, it's tough to prepare for something like that,
Exactly.
Yeah, and then he can heave it deep.
Yeah. Oh, dude. And he throws darts. I mean, the man is,
it's exciting. And then, next week we have Carson coming back. Carson, most touchdowns thrown in the league. Let's not sleep on him. And then Miles Sanders, 30 carries, $176. He's already over 5 yards a carry. It's going to be a very good game at Washington.
Is that Washington?
At Washington, because I'm going to the November game that's in Philly.
Are you going to be there when Carson comes back?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Oh yeah,
I'm not gonna miss that.
I love games like that, man.
And then the big game next week for me personally is Bills and Dolphins. I think that's a very, very underrated game.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, that says a lot. It shows you where the East is at. That's the AFC East right there. That's the AFC East championship, quote unquote. You know what I mean? Like, that sets the pace. And it's for Miami, it's huge because, like I said, is Miami for real? The next, that type of game is the one that shows. Even if you lose, you stay in the game, you play a solid game, you show up against a very, very dangerous Buffalo team.
They play
right. It's huge. It's huge.
Davian Howard on Stephon Diggs. I think that sets the tone for the game. The same way as we had Slay on Jefferson.
Right. I agree.
And then that defense, they'll send the dogs after you. They'll play cover 0 and send the house at you. They did that. Lamar, now, I mean, they ended up winning it, and it was a high scoring game. But last year, Lamar had fits because they were on his head. They were sending exotic blitzes, guys from left, right, up, down, sent, like he didn't know what was coming from where. Right. So that team, I think, is going to have a lot of surprise games this year. You know, next week is going to be a big game, and every game they have this year, hell, they might end up getting flexed into some primetime games because I think they're going to surprise a lot of people.
I agree.
So,
Even if you don't have a winning season, as long as you play a little better, you get a primetime slot. You know what I mean? Like Miami's easily could be one of those teams that like they're like new kind of to the primetime world. So it's exciting for a minute.
I was already prepared for this because there's a reason why I drafted Jalen Waddle to my fantasy team because I already saw how good he was last year. Then you bring Tyreek in, and then Tua's throwing better. Tua gets a lot of the same criticism that Jalen Hurts got last year.
Sure does.
He's showing up this year so far. So, yeah. So, you know, a lot of exciting stuff going on. And then I want to quickly segue over to boxing.